Some of these new FIFA ratings are interesting, to say the least. So the other day, EA Sports released a full database for FIFA 21. Today, we're going to be going over every championship club, looking into their championship ratings. Some clubs have been done a little bit more harshly than others, I'd say. But I'd like to get your views in the comments down below. Do you think your FIFA ratings this year are fair? Or do you think you've been done a little bit dirty by EA? Let me know down below. As always, if you do going to enjoy, make sure to leave a like. But let's now hop into having a look at each club individually. Starting out with Bournemouth, I don't think these ratings are all too bad of a reflection. Obviously, there's been the standard downgrades that you'd expect after a relegation for a couple of the players in here. I think the most surprising thing, looking at Dan Jorma's pace there, just 79, surely he's quicker than that. I think pace on this game is something that EA really seems to have messed up, hasn't it? But David Brooks coming in as a 76 rated, Josh King 77. Tom Solanke has been downgraded, he's now down to a 69. I think that he's going to prove a few people wrong in the championship this season. Already started that really strong for them. We then get to Barnsley though, and I do feel as if they've been done a little bit dirty on this year's game. New selling Freezer is the highest rated, being 72, but then the ratings drop off from there is pretty dramatic. After the season Corley Woodrow had last time round, he's not been upgraded from a 68 rated, which I find absolutely baffling. Jacob Brown, I know, is no longer there, but come on, he needs to be more than 66. Barnsley here, I feel like, have been done quite harshly. If we look at Birmingham, I mean, they have got some serious pace in their squad this season, haven't they? Bella with 92, Ivan Sanchez with 91, Lecco with 89. That's not all too bad, is it? They've still got a couple of new signings which need to be updated onto this database. But overall, not the worst ratings in the world. Neil Etheridge has taken a bit of a hit but didn't feature as much for Cardiff last season, so that's understandable. With Blackburn Rovers, Adam Armstrong, deservedly so, has been upgraded. He was 69 rated on last year's FIFA. He's bumped up to a 73. Another squad who's got a bit of pace in here. Bradley Dack keeps his 74 rating despite being injured last season. I think that's fair, really. Bradley Johnson, maybe a bit reactionary from me because he scored 2 belters the other week, but I think he should be a little bit higher than 69. I'm also interested to see what they go ahead and rate Tyrese Dolan as well. He's not on this database as of yet, but I mean, he's absolutely tore it up at the start of the season. And then we get to arguably the harshest ratings on this year's FIFA. That is Brentford, who have been absolutely shafted with some of these. Now, Saad Bin Rama, deservedly so, gets the upgrade to a 77. A couple of stats should be a little bit higher there, but if we then look past that, and Bimu, I think, should be gold for the season he had last time round. One of the best wingers in the league for me. Norgard should be higher than a 73. This guy's international footballer, comfortably one of the best at this level, and could easily play his football at a higher level. 71 rating for Josh De Silva's way too low, and even Ivan Toney, 69 rated. I know he was playing his football in League One last season, and he's had a bit of an indifferent start to his time at Brentford, but come on. Bristol City have got a few downgrades in here, no gold cards for them, interestingly enough, this season as things stand at the moment. De Silva, the highest rated card there, 72 rated, along with a couple of others. Jeju, he's been downgraded. I think Casey Palmer's been down by 1. Eliasson, deservedly so, has got an upgrade, as has Naki Wells, but still a couple of harsh ones in there. For Cardiff City, few harsh ones in here for me. Lee Tomlin, after the season he's just had, I know the guy can be a bit injury prone, but he should be bumped up from more than 70. Keith Moore as well, after how he ripped things up for Wigan in the second half of the season, 69 rated. You'll see as we go through the video some of the other strikers that he's on par with according to EA. That should be bumped up for me. Obviously Neil Etheridge is no longer there, so their 3 highest rated players according to FIFA are Bennett, Morrison and Pack. I'm not too sure about that. Coventry's ratings this year are looking low. Now, EA always do tend to undervalue the promoted clubs a little bit. I remember Preston got the same treatment when we were promoted from League One back up to the Championship. Dabo, deservedly so, has got an upgrade. He was fantastic last season. Gustavo Heymer, in the small sample size of matches that I've seen him, he should be way higher than 69 rated. I think that Coventry fans would agree with that one. Few harsh ones in there for me, I think. Next up to Derby County. Wayne Rooney's obviously the standout from this one, 77 rated, so a downgrade by 3. I think he was 80 rated on last year's FIFA, wasn't he? He's also being played as an attacking midfielder, although he did play most of his games a little bit deeper last season for Derby. That annoys me a little bit, but 53 pace, he's not winning many sprints this season, is he? Joswiak, on the other hand, he looks really exciting. Although looking over it, there have been a fair few downgrades to this Derby squad. I think that Waghorn and Marriott both receiving downgrades. Obviously Bird and Sibley there this year, 67 and 66 rated for them. They'll be absolute gems on career mode. Huddersfield Town, now they have had some downgrades, some I think fairly justified. Hogg and Schindler both silver cards this year, the highest rated being Colin Grant, who deservedly so has been upgraded, now a left midfielder on the game as well. One that stands out to me instantly though, Lewis O'Brien, only 68 rated. It's an upgrade from last year, but come on EA. Surely he deserves to be bumped up more than that. You're telling me Diakarby's a better footballer than he is? I'm not having it. Luton Town, the vast majority of the ratings are pretty much the same as they were last time round. Collins has got an upgrade by +1, Sonny Bradley's gone down by 1, the majority around that 67 sort of mark. Harry Coatley's got an upgrade by +5, which I think is deserved, but apart from that, they've not looked all too much into that one. Middlesbrough, their highest rated player is going to be new signing Chuba Akpom, obviously scored on his debut. He's coming in at 73 rated. Apart from that, a couple of downgrades that I can spot in here. George Saville and British Sambalonga both having pretty hefty downgrades from last season. Jed Spence only 63 rated, I'd have him bumped up a bit. Millwall this season, the notable upgrade does go to Jed Wallace, who, fair play to EA, they have bumped him up to a gold card, and I think that Millwall fans would agree they're probably not like the most fashionable club for EA to look into and things like that. But I do rate the fact that they have bumped Jed Wallace up after such a fantastic season last time round. Really did go quite under the radar a little bit, considering how many goals and assists he actually got. When you look past that though, a couple of harsh ones in here. Bilkowski, fantastic last season, I thought probably deserves to be a bit more than the 72. Each of their defenders, I think you can make a case for being bumped up as well. Norwich City, now their squad, I mean, they had a couple of players that were vastly underrated on last year's FIFA. Deservedly so, Todd Cantwell's got an upgrade to a 74. Argument to be made that that could be a little bit higher with how well he adapted to Premier League life last season. Timu Pukki has been hit with a downgrade. He is down to a 76 now. Amy Buendia has kept the same rating, 77. I can't help but feel like there are a couple of inaccuracies in here. Max Aaron's only 73 rated. That should be considerably higher. Jordan Hugo only comes in at 70 after a fantastic season last time around with QPR. Don't know about you guys, but there are a few in there that I don't agree with. Next up to Nottingham Forest, Bryce Samba deserved an upgrade. He was great for them last season. He's up to a gold card, as is Joe Lolly. He keeps his rating from last season. Lewis Grubben, despite hitting 20 goals, stays at a 73 rating. Few I'd bump up in here myself. Luke Freeman, I think, deserves to be more than 72. I know he didn't play all too much football for Sheffield United last season, but even so, for me, should be a little bit higher than that. Joe Worrell, after the season he had for Forest, I think should be higher than the 72 as well. Oh, and it's sad to see, we spoke about him in yesterday's video, but João Carvalho downgraded to a 71. We just didn't get to see much of him last season, did we? Next up, we have my side, Preston North End. On the face of things, they're not awful, but there are a few that I disagree with. Obviously, Ben Pearson keeps a 75 rating. After the season that DJ had last time around, I think there's an argument to be made that he should have been bumped up to 75 as well. Undoubtedly, Ben Davis should be higher than a 72 rating. He's the same rating there as Andy Hughes, which I'm not on board with. Declan Rudd should be way higher than 69 after the season he had last time round as well. The amount of games he kept us in last season. Josh Harrop, I think, is better than a 68, but probably doesn't get the game time to actually go ahead and prove that. Sinclair's gone down, but that's probably a fair reflection. He wasn't the greatest last season. Overall, they're not awful, but like I say, there are a few I disagree with in there. Next up to QPR, FIFA's not been all too kind to you guys this year, have they? Ryan Manning and Brett Samuel both deservedly get upgrades after having fantastic spells for QPR last season. Samuel, you could argue, maybe could even be a little bit higher than the 72. He's an absolutely brilliant flair player. New signing Lyndon Dykes comes in at just 69 rated. Don Ball, I can't help but feel like should be bumped up way more than a 67. After that, we get to Reading, where it's another mixed bag in here. A deserved upgrade there for John Swift, one of the most creative players in the league the last season. Argument to be made that he could be a gold card. As for their goalkeeper, Raphael there as well, he stays at a 74, but he was absolutely terrific for them last season. For me, one of the best goalkeepers in the league, probably should be bumped up a little bit. Lucas João probably didn't get the chances to show what he can do. He should be higher rated than the 70. George Posgas had a bit of a hit and miss season last time round. He's been downgraded all the way to a 69. Reading fans, what do you make of that one? Rotherham, I'm afraid, do get the same treatment as Coventry coming up from League One. Not the greatest of ratings for them this season. Hickory only coming in at 68 rated after the season he had last time round in League One. Kieran Sadler as well, can't help but feel like he should be more than the 67. Sheffield Wednesday have been hit with downgrades left, right and centre. I mean, one part of me does understand it. Wednesday weren't great last season, were they? Especially especially with the way they finished things. And I can see where a few of the downgrades have come from. You know, the one to Jordan Rose was inevitable. He's down to a 69 on this year's FIFA. Bannon, Reach and Westwood have all been downgraded from last time. Can't help but feel like the downgrade for Josh Windass, though, is a little bit harsh. I thought he was actually alright for Wednesday last season. Started this season out for them really well for them as well. So 68 seems a little bit harsh. After that, we then get to Stoke City, another club who's been hit with quite a few downgrades this season. The most notable, Jack Butland. No longer, the days are far gone of Jack Butland being the most overpowered goalkeeper in the game. He's now all the way down to a 74 rated Silva, obviously. Last season, Jack Butland, nothing seemed to be going his way. There's an argument to be made. I think that 74 is even a little bit kind to him at this point in time. What do you think, Stoke fans? Are some of these downgrades justified, or do you think you've been harshly done? After that, we have Swansea City, who I think it's fair to say have been harshly done by here. AU deservedly so keeps his 76 rating, but looking past that, there's some absolute stinkers of ratings in here. Joe Rodon just 70 rated. I know he missed a chunk of last season through injury, but come on. Jamal Lowe's actually been downgraded from his card last season. He's down to a 68 this time. Mon Gibbs White, from the small amount of games I've seen from him so far this season, I think he should be more than a 70. Few really poor ones in there. Watford on this year's game have been hit with the downgrades. Quite a few of them. The majority I'd probably say were to be expected. You know, the likes of the Andre Grays, the Danny Welbecks. Deeney's dropped down. The majority of the squad has come down a few ratings, which is understandable after a relegation. Deulofeu being their highest rated player, coming in as an 80. I'm perplexed that no one's come in for him yet. Ben Foster's down to a 79. Sarr keeps his rating of a 78. There were a couple that seemed harsh to me though. I mean, João Pedro only coming in at 69 rated. And then finishing things off with Wickham. To be fair to EA, they have dished out a fair few upgrades into this squad. Joe Jacobson, after the season he had last time, rounds up to a 69. He, alongside Daryl Horgan, are the highest rated players on this year's game. Akinfenwa keeps his rating of a 65 for another year's FIFA as well. Allsop's been upgraded to a Silva. He was great in their last match against Swansea. Really kept the scoreline down in that one. But guys, there you have it. There was every championship squad's FIFA ratings for FIFA 21, the upcoming game. So get your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that EA has done you a little bit dirty this year? I think they've done that to quite a few teams, if I'm honest. Which ratings do you most disagree with? Get them in the comments down below, and what do you think would be a fair reflection of their rating? But like I say, guys, that will now wrap it up. So if you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and please do stick around for a bit of regular championship content. But apart from that, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.